Hello everyone, I'm the Botanical King. Hopefully you can hear me from my Nokia flip phone that I'm recording from because I can't afford a good phone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be showing you my begonia collection. I have a couple begonias. I think I have 7 in my collection currently. This is just a corner half. I have more over here, and then I also have one in the terrarium. So I'm going to give you an overview of my apartment actually because this is my first video. So this is an overview. I have a pond in my house. Yes, everyone has a fucking pond in their house. Don't fucking bullshit me saying that you don't have a pond in your house. Everyone fucking has that. That's my propagation box. And then over here, I got all my floor plants, or just plants that I'm keeping on the floor currently. I'm going to get a plant shelf there. So we're going to get into the begonias though, because there is 3 different classifications of begonias. 4 if you're counting hybrids, but I wouldn't think anyone's going to fucking count a hybrid. Most of them are all hybrids now, by the way. So this one that I have here is actually, it's trademarked. So it's called a nonstop mocha yellow. So it's trademarked by a company, and what that means is it's a type of hybrid. So by looking at the leaves, I think it's a type of Rex begonia mixed with type of rhizome begonia. So this begonia is perfect for my area. I'm from Colorado. I just moved here about a year ago. So the environment over here is really dry and arid. And it being a rhizome begonia, what a rhizome means is it has a special stem, which is the rhizome. So these stems, I'm not going to touch it because this will fucking hurt you because of the hairs. The stem here can contain water. So if the soil goes dry, it can endure dryness for maybe a couple days. So actually, when I got that, it was completely bone dry. It just came out of the container, which is perfect for replanting. But that goes to tell you that that one can do better with it being dry for longer periods of time. So I'm going to show you a cane begonia as well. So this is a cane begonia, and this one is a Benego pink. So the Benego pink begonia, the cane begonia is classified by this cane-like structure of a stem. Ooh, look at all these new leaves they're going to come in. These are the new nodes, and they're going to produce new leaflets. And usually they pop out and they produce a split like this. So the angel wing begonias will have leaves that are shaped like, well, angel wings. So I have one here, and I have another one individual, usually at the side. This one's doing its own thing, though, because I trimmed it. So it's probably going to put one out here, or this one's going to die. We'll see. But this one here, cane begonias, really like to stay a little bit moist. You really don't want to get these dry or they start to crisp. This one is looking really beautiful now. I'm actually in love with the way this Benego pink is looking because when I got it, it kind of look like crap. And that's because the humidity here is lower than 50%. It's like 27%. It's shitty out here in Colorado with it being a high land temperate desert environment. So I'm going to show you another begonia that I have, and this one is a Begonia sandia. And a Begonia sandia, I'll pop this one out here more so you can see it. The Begonia sandia is another cane type begonia. And the Begonia sandia is an heirloom variety. I think it originates in 1986 from Steve's Leaves. So it is an exclusive from Steve's Leaves. It was a hybrid that was brought to him. And this one was bred for its giant blooms. I wish it was blooming now, but eventually we'll be able to get a shot of it blooming, because this right here, I don't think this is a stem. I think that one's gonna produce a flower stalk, and it produces like huge red flower blooms. And there's another one there. I think that one's going to be a stem. So we'll see. Another one that I have here is the strawberry begonia. So the strawberry begonia is this one right here, and the reason why it's called a strawberry begonia is because it obviously looks like a strawberry plant. So the strawberry begonia is a type of rhizomous begonia, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe it is a rhizomous type begonia, and it grows out these nodes here, these little peduncles, and they'll shoot out flowers from here, I believe. So that's where it gets its flowers, and it looks pretty much like a strawberry plant, and it is a little fuzzy. This one you can kind of touch and ain't gonna hurt you. Very pretty coloration on that one. I seen a variegated one. They're kind of getting hard to come by, but very, very cool plant. And then this one here is the Begonia Griffin. I think it's the Griffin. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Griffin. If you're interested, I keep the tags too for some of these. Griffin. So that one is a type of rhizomous begonia as well. And this one has a huge rhizome. So you can see, let me come in there. That's the rhizome right there. So the rhizome, this plant adapted with the special ability to store water into the rhizome, which is the stem type structure. So if it goes dry for longer periods of time, it has water in there that it can use, versus some of the other begonias like king begonias don't really have the ability to store water. So that's when you get the browning and dying leaves and stuff like that. And all these begonias, humidity levels, you want to keep it above 50%. You can do 60. In my house, in this general vicinity area over here, like at the bottom of the cabinet here, because I have a bunch of plants here, and at the top here, the top in this corner, I think it gets like to 60, and then the bottom gets to 80, or 65 here, and that one's for sure 80. So they definitely do flourish with a higher humidity setting, in my opinion. I don't have any Rex begonias either to show you. I need to research more Rex begonias. It's just that the environment is so dry here, you have to run a humidifier. If you don't run a humidifier, you can't really keep anything here in Colorado except succulents and cacti. So that's why I have all my begonias right next to a humidifier, because the environment is so dry that without a humidifier, the humidity drops literally from 80 in this area to 65 around here, and then that corner to 20 or 36 within like 2-3 hours. That's bad. That's when you start to get leaf drop and brownage. So another rare begonia that I'll show you, well, not rare, these are mostly common begonias. That one there is an heirloom. That one can be common. It's a little pricey though, so I would say it's a little uncommon because you can only get it from one place. But I'm gonna show you something that I would consider rare, but it is a little uncommon. You can get a hold of it now. It's not really that hard to get a hold of it. This one here is my Begonia Juleu. And I love this Begonia Juleu. Actually, in 2021, it just received a scientific number of U684. So that says scientific number identification. So the Begonia Juleu was discovered a couple miles out of a town called Juleu in Borneo. So this one, it's popped up around 2016, maybe like 2014 is really when it got discovered. Who knows? The flowers on this thing, it produces flowers that look kind of like orchids, like a yellow, really small, like minimum orchid. It kind of looks like a jewel orchid, but like with more color, just more. It's weird. It looks like a ghost moth. Look up a ghost moth that originates from Florida, up in around the Cuba area and remote parts of Florida in the Alps. So the Begonia Juleu, it has that red like stem. It is a cane begonia. It's producing a new flower there as well. And when you're talking about rare begonias, it usually means that it needs a higher humidity in order for it to flourish and thrive. Like this thing, if you take it out of its enclosure for too long, it's going to melt. And the reason why it's going to melt is because this begonia needs at least 85% humidity and above. So it's recommended for it to be a terrarium begonia. So usually your more expensive begonias are going to be a terrarium begonia. And I love the coloration of that thing. It looks amazing. It looks like an alien.